Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Neil.
All right, another beautiful Saturday we have here today. Mr. Matthew, in Nigeria, are we practicing true federation? Because why is the president have to intervene in the state government affairs? We saw it happen in River State, and just yesterday we are seeing it happening in those states, whereby the federal government, which is the president, now has commanded the state government on what to do. I mean, what's happening?
Let me tell you that as a person, let me start with the emails of the governor. You know, the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, is somebody I like so well. It's quite unfortunate that these sickness are befalling him, and I pray for his quick recovery. But having said that, I think in the circumstance, what is important is the overall interest of the states. To that extent, I think it's important that the governor should know the right thing to do. The governor, who is equally a legal luminary, not just a legal luminary, senior advocate of Nigeria, would have known that the right thing to do was to hand over power to the deputy governor. Having said that, looking at the intervention of Mr. President in what is happening in that state, I think the reason is not far-fetched. We had a situation where there was almost near breakdown of law and order in that state as a result of infighting between the camps of the governor and the deputy governor. But I want to say that the intervention and resolution of Mr. President is like a piece of the graveyard. It's a piece of the graveyard because we are not likely going to see peace enduring in that state. Because if you are saying, let us maintain the status quo, the status quo means that the governor is still the governor. Nobody saying the governor is not the governor anyway. And the deputy governor is not being empowered to start acting capacity.
Was the resolution they had? Was it that the president said they should maintain the status quo?
Yes.
But there's another information, making around that the president has said that Akeredolu will step down.
What I've read, except I've not been privy to that aspect of the resolution, but what I've read, I've seen in the public domain is that the president is asking that the status quo should be maintained. Because why I was saying that it's going to be a piece of the graveyard is what is happening in that state. The governor himself, Akeredolu, may not be the one orchestrating it. I feel that people who are close to the governor want to take undue advantage of his incapacitation, want to control the deputy governor. I think that is what is breeding the controversy. I heard the governor say that people should respect people's position. And I think because people do not want to respect his position, with the governor's handlers, people want to usurp the position of the governor, and the governor is not able to discharge his responsibilities. I think that is what is causing the problem. In my own view, the better way to resolve that impasse is to ask House of Assembly to elevate the deputy governor to start acting in acting capacity pending when the governor will recover. If you do not want to permanently, because the right thing to do is the state ESCO should look at the governor's health in collaboration with his physician to see whether he is capable of discharging responsibility. If his personal physician discover that he is incapacitated, it is within the right of the state ESCO to declare the governor incapacitated. That will now enable the state governor being elevated to the position of the substantive governor. We now look for another deputy governor.
Mr. Martin, if what you said happens to be true, whereby the president said that the governor
the status quo should be maintained.
Yes. Don't you think that is a threat? Don't you feel that this is a signal from the president to venture the president maybe in the near future for one way or the reason fight yourself to pass? Don't you think that the president also might follow that trail whereby he doesn't respect the constitution of Nigeria? Because we saw what happened with Buhari when Buhari was over 6 months. Very difficult to go to Oshibanjo. We saw it also happen under Yaradua. If things like this happen, and the legislative arms have always appeared to be ineffective, I look at the people in Ondo State, are not even shouting. The people in Ondo State are not even protesting. My brother, do you think democracy is the right system? Because as it seems that we are just upturning all the tenets of democracy. Why? What is going on in this our own system of government? Why is our own democracy? The same democracy is being practiced in Kenya. The same democracy is being practiced in Ghana. Why is it difficult for Nigerians to, work with democracy? Because this didn't start today. This started way back to 2000. What's the problem?
Let me tell you that the issue when it comes to image of other government presidents, the issue is always with the people around them. When we had the issue of Yaradua was not the one cutting the shots.
Are the people stronger than the House of State of Assembly?
That is where the problem is. Nigerians tend to be loyal to the person in power, not the constitution. So when we had the issue of Muhammadu Buhari, the people around him were the one cutting the shots. Just as we are talking about this Ondo State, the governor may not be in his right state of mind to even take decision. So it's all within the purview of his personal physician to examine him and determine his health status. But unfortunately, we are not protecting any part of the world. Everybody wants to say we are loyal to Mr. Governor. Whether Mr. Governor is able to decide responsibility or not is not the issue. Because people around will exploit that power to their own advantage at the expense of the generality of the society. So I think that is what the playing out in this state. So if the governor were to be in the right state of mind to take decision, I think according to that, no, we would have done the right thing to say Mr. Deputy Governor be elevated to the position of acting capacity, or he resigns and pay way for the deputy governor to become the substantive governor. They now look for another deputy governor. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's very difficult to see people who live above board when it comes to issues like this. But everybody wants to get undue advantage of the system. And if I tell you, if you go and investigate what is happening in Ondo State, you may discover that people are even taking undue advantage of the resources of the state, because somebody must discharge the responsibility of the executive governor. And the power, the authority of the governor, the word of the governor carries power. Once you have the privilege of going to the closet of the governor, come out to say Mr. Governor says so, it means you are ruling the state. I think that's what is happening in this state.
Mr. Martin, let us transpose to Kano State. Let's transpose to Kano State. In the headlines today, the Nigerian police force has issued a statement that there is a looming protest that might lead to serious chaos. What state are we?
Mr. Ali, I must tell you that by now, if we are in a safe society, the authorities would have made her to rule in the judiciary, particularly the Court of Appeal. There was one situation I read what Olalupeku said, that the Court of Appeal have lost every right, power to adjudicate over the case, amid the petition of APC versus NNPP in Kano State. And reasons are not far-fetched. He said the 60 days are allowed by law for the appeal court to adjudicate over that case have elapsed. To that extent, that it is only the Supreme Court that is empowered by law to act as it is now. So for me, I think the protest is needless. The rally is needless, because we are likely to see a clash of interests, and that may lead to monumental loss of lives and property. So for me, I think the way to go is for the authorities to ask NNPP, APC, share your planned protest or rally as the case may be. Otherwise, if you allow the two sides to go ahead with their either rally or protest, you are likely going to have a clash and it's going to lead to deaths.
But Mr. Matthew, I understand you are always trying to be diplomatic and you don't like to issue a statement for any case that is into the court. But in this case of Kano, do you perceive any direction that the Supreme Court will take?
It's very difficult to determine the outcome of a case in court. Like you said, if you are about to prejudice if I say so, and I'm not ready to commit any crime that has offense that has to do with prejudice. But I want to say that personally, as a Nigerian, I do not have confidence in the Nigerian judicial system, and I have not rekindled that confidence until I start seeing them giving judgments that look fair, that look justified. That is when I will rekindle my confidence in that system. The way it stands today, I saw the election petition that went to Court of Appeal from Adamawa State, where the Court of Appeal took swipe on INEC that are always dancing naked in the public, thinking that they are not seeing their dancing step, that their dancing step is all over the place. It was acknowledging, they were acknowledging INEC that you are supposed to play a neutral role in litigations. You are not supposed to be seen as an interested party. And according to the Court of Appeal, that has always been the attitude executed by INEC in case of any litigation involving parties where they needed to come and tender evidence. The court told them that what you should do ends with all the documents at your disposal, how it was obtained, and it ends there. You allow court to determine. Now that you be positioning yourself as a defense team, as having interest in one of the teaching tech, in one of the people in the court. So for me, I think I don't have confidence in Nigerian judicial system, to answer your question directly.
Lastly, Mr. Matthew, before I let you go, yesterday Wike said he hates English. That Kubara is biting his finger that fed him. As a matter of fact, Wike posted that Kubara didn't even buy a governorship form. Just in 3 months, it is unbelievable that Kubara has destroyed all the political structure. Is this karma catching up with Wike, or is this a show of, ungratefulness, just as Wike has said, on the part of Kubara in Rivers?
Let me start answering your question by this. Is it outrage in my place, or? But let me explain. There is a saying in my place that a lady went to the farm, and all of a sudden she shouted that pig are come upon me. The whole pigs, the whole community in their number ran towards that direction to save the woman. They got there, they didn't meet any pig. They asked him, where is the pig? He said, do not be offended. I wanted to test if pig comes upon me, whether the community will respond. The next day, the woman raised another false alarm. Pig are come upon me. The whole community gathered. They got there, there was no pig. Woman, what is happening? Do not be offended. I want to test whether I have support of the community. The third day, pig actually came upon this woman. She shouted her voice out. Nobody came. And the pigs devoured her. That will be the case of Kubara. Before that, he shouted that Wike is trying to remove me unjustly. He was asking in the press that Wike should tell the world his offense. The whole news gathered, everybody gathered, came to his rescue. Before you know, he chickened out. He started telling them that no sacrifice is too much. I don't know whether he has decided to fight now. What I'm saying in essence is, if Kubara want to succeed politically, you need to fight. Wike, just like Ifacho said, I don't know what you mean by finger that helped him. What we are saying is, and it is wrong of anybody, whether Wike or whatever name he goes by, to come out to the public and tell you and say that I brought fraud for all the people that contested the election in Rivers State. That is subjugation, and it should be discouraged.
On the part of Kubara to also accept
that is subjugation, and it should be discouraged. I think that the system of governance they practice in Lagos, and I think it should be discouraged. What I'm saying is
as a matter of fact, in the whole of Nigeria.
What I'm saying is this.
We saw what we did for this state. Didn't you see how the new governor-elect is kneeling down for Governor Yaya Bello?
That may be another crisis in waiting. But what I'm trying to say now is, Kubara have better start fighting.
We saw
because if we didn't fight
between Obawori and the guy that gave him power. We saw
better.
Yes.
They are going to cover an Obawori sheriff.
Okowa is sheriff. Who is his godfather?
It's another crisis in waiting. But what I'm telling you is, if Kubara refuses to fight now, the time you shout, I want to fight, nobody will come to his rescue.
Thank you very much.
This is the right time for Kubara to fight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rob.
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Rap, I don't seem to understand the system of government we are practicing in Nigeria any longer. It has come to a state whereby the president is now interfering with state government affairs. We saw what happened in Rivers State, where Fubara had to take his state affairs to the president. And just yesterday again, we saw Ondo State. I mean, Mr. Rap, what is happening?
The presidency interference on whatever goes wrong between the governors and their so-called finger that fed them, if you ask me, is highly fallible. It's liable to error because the department of executive could never be a department that interprets Nigerian constitution or review it. The executive department executes. The judiciary interpret and what intercede between the aggrieved parties.
But why is the judiciary not?
I'm coming. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. You see what happened? The judiciary, the executive is trying to make rubber stamp of the judiciary, and it has succeeded on doing so.
How do you mean so?
Tinubu is now the person that meddle between any aggrieved parties in Nigeria across southwest, southeast, northeast, north, mid-belt, northern region.
Mr. Rap, even the opposition governors are even
appreciating because you know what? He has excess power with him. That's why you see that Nigerian politicians, they are not politicking, rather politicking. Are you listening to me? How could you be going to Mr. President for interpretation of the law or meddling into your matter between another person? I don't understand. You should consult the judiciary. Judiciary has the right, the audacity, the statutory power, the constitutional power to review the constitution, to interpret the law between aggrieved parties, not the Department of Executive. Executive department is for what? Execution, implementation. I listen to me. The interpretation of the constitution of any country, any state is for the judiciary. But look at how the Department of Executive has been bastardizing judiciary over the years. Start from Buhari regime till date. They stopped rule of law when Yaradua was there. Anything due process, rule of law was put at full stop.
I beg to differ. Under Yaradua also failed to relinquish power to his deputy.
You are telling a lie.
For a very long period of time.
You are telling a lie. Do you know what?
Yaradua was sick for months. He didn't pass the power to Jonathan.
You should have said incapacitated. Yaradua was incapacitated as a result of what? Sickness. He took ill. I don't understand. Which kept him bedridden for months, if not a year plus, and he died. Let me tell you, when he was functioning, when Yaradua was healthy, hearty, let me tell you, and Amochimole went to court with the almighty owner, builder of Edo State political dynasty. His name is Anene. He won Anene in the court. Yaradua held the judgment. Yaradua did not support the Labour Party because he was a PDP party henchman, but he support the rule of law by the court, and then Ochomole did what? Carry the day. He went home on flying color, and today we've seen what Buhari regime have done. Adam Ochomole, the shortest, the most little belittling beast in Nigerian polity. See, let me tell you, Adam Ochomole now turned against rule of law, the same rule of law that brought him to the limelight. I'm telling you, that guy Adam Ochomole is the worst governor ever Nigeria or Edo State has produced, because the finger that fed him was the law. The law fed Adam Ochomole. The law made him all he is today, but he has turned against the law. He's now romancing, befriending people that have turned their backs against the law. I mean Buhari, Tinubu, and the rest of them. He's now their best friend, and they has virtually seen that Buhari did not maintain or follow Nigerian constitution. Buhari was doing whatever he likes, siphoning money. Look at just a cousin that's selling a church card. Yeah, that guy was a cousin. You know how much that was discovered into that little boy's account? Trillions of naira.
Aided by
MFL. I don't know you even know the story. So these are the people you are talking about that will respect judiciary or the law or Nigerian constitution. They edit, they amend, they they alter Nigerian constitution at all will. With passion, they have passion to do that, to break the law, because the office of Nigerian presidency is the most powerful office in the world due to the kind of support, selfish support given to them by the lawmakers, the upper legislative chambers and the lower ones. They gave them this kind of, impetus to do whatever they like. I tell you, I blame it not only on the office of the presidency, I blame it on other governmental agencies. They are stupid. If you know the real meaning of stupidity, stupidity is you saw what is wrong, you kept on following what was wrong. You saw what was wrong, you kept on following it. That is the meaning of stupidity. You see that there is a hole here. If you match hole, you go and get wound, and you put your hole there, your leg there, and you got wounded. That's the meaning of stupidity. People don't know the meaning of stupidity.
So let's talk about fighting the finger that helped you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about stupidity.
Yeah.
What is going on in River State between weekend and Friday? Is it Fubara fighting the finger of the helper, or Fubara being stupid by not fighting that? So we saw yesterday weekend vibrating, on the TV.
Nemesis has caught up with Wike. Wike wanted to control Fubara, owing to the fact that he sponsored him, he funded him.
What do you mean Nemesis?
Nemesis, Lord of Karma. He betrayed Amechi, he fought Amechi to a stupor. To a state that Amechi was a minister, Wike's orderly and Amechi's orderly began to fight themselves. Wike could not even give Amechi a single respect. Now Fubara has started his own. Wike is a man that cast a stone to his friends and demanded that his friends should return Pankanel in return. In casting back, why should you demand for Pankanel? They should stone you with pebbles, left, right, rocks. Yes, do me, I do you, God no go vex. Chefumi, Ọlọ́run kan bínú. What are you saying? So let me tell you, what is playing out in River State is that Fubara is a man I know that has come to crumble all these godfatherism structures in River State. With power, strength. We can do that. Ijo nation, they are in River State. Ijo nation, they are in Anambra State. Ijo nation, they are in Ondo State. They are called in Yoruba language. So Ijo is cut across all Nigeria. They are dwelling on the rivers, water side, water channel. That is their culture. That is their habitat. Where you can see the Ijo settlement is anywhere you have river banks or basins. So let me tell you, Ijo, they must take over the political dynasty as far as this 4-year tenure is concerned. So Wike is facing what he saw in the past. He saw that he must reap elephant grasses. Imperinator Serendrika. That is the botanical language. Don't you know that I'm well knowledge? And my name is Raf Tresvant.
Thank you very much for your knowledge and submission, Mr. Raf. Good morning.